What if you've been lied to about money? Not a small lie, but a colossal one. A lie that keeps you running on a hamster wheel, trading your life for a paycheck, forever chasing a horizon that never gets closer. The lie is that wealth is complicated, that it's a secret game played by Wall Street wizards in ivory towers. A game you're not smart enough, rich enough, or lucky enough to win. But what if the real secret is that the path to wealth is simple? So simple, it fits on a single napkin. So powerful, it can liberate you from your job, your debt, and your financial anxiety forever. This isn't another get-rich-quick fantasy. This is your escape plan. Today, we're unlocking the master key from J.L. Collins' legendary guide, The Simple Path to Wealth. This is the blueprint for taking back control, mastering your money, and building a life of absolute freedom. Whether you're drowning in debt or just starting your first job, this is the last financial video you'll ever need. Forget everything you think you know. The journey to true wealth starts now. Part 1. The Code of the Wealthy Mind. Before a single dollar is invested, before any debt is paid, the most crucial battle is fought and won, right here, between your ears. Because wealth isn't born in a bank account. It's forged in your mind. The brutal truth is this. You can earn $1 million a year and die broke if your mind is coded for scarcity. You can be showered with opportunities and still feel poor if your thinking is chained to consumerism and the desperate need for approval. The simple path begins by shattering that code. It starts by asking a more powerful question. Not how can I get rich, but what is the purpose of money? J.L. Collins first distilled these ideas not for a bestseller, but in a series of letters to his daughter. He wasn't trying to create a stock market genius. He wanted to give her something far more precious, a life of choice. A life where money was not a source of stress, but a wellspring of security, peace, and power. And in doing so, he revealed the first law of wealth. Your mindset is the architect of your financial destiny. So, what is this wealth mindset? At its heart, it's a radical reimagining of money. You stop seeing money as the prize and start seeing it as the tool. It's not a scorecard for your worth. It's the raw material you use to build a life. And the ultimate creation? Freedom. The freedom to decide how you spend your mornings. The freedom to walk away from a toxic boss. The freedom to be present with your family without the ghost of unpaid bills haunting you. This is a profound shift. Society has trained us to be consumers, not owners. From our first paycheck, we are bombarded by a relentless siren song. Spend more, be more. Happiness is just one purchase away. That new car, that designer watch, that luxury vacation. These are sold to us as the badges of a successful life. Collins throws a grenade into that entire philosophy. He urges us to see money not as fuel for a fleeting dopamine hit, but as seeds for a forest of future freedom. Every dollar you save and invest isn't a dollar you're giving up. It's a dollar you're sending into the future to buy back your most valuable asset, your time. Freedom is the new luxury. Not a mansion, not a supercar. True wealth is the quiet confidence of knowing you don't have to do anything. The ability to sleep soundly through the night. The power to retire decades before your peers. Not to sit on a beach, but to finally start living the life you were meant to live. This kind of freedom is never an accident. It is the direct result of adopting the wealth mindset. Without this foundation, the best financial strategies are useless. You can be told to invest in index funds and avoid debt, but if your mind is still programmed to chase status, you will self-sabotage. So, how do you install this new operating system? First, shift from a consumer identity to an owner identity. Stop asking, "What can this money buy me?" and start asking, "How can I command this money to work for me?" This isn't about deprivation. It's about finding a deeper joy in building something that lasts, in choosing the long-term victory over short-term pleasure. Every dollar you invest is you becoming an owner of the world's greatest companies. Second, redefine your dreams from luxury to independence. Instead of fantasizing about a $70,000 car, Visualize the feeling of having $70,000 in investments silently generating more money for you while you sleep. That's not a car. That's a freedom machine. Anchor your identity not to the things you possess, but to the choices you have. The choice to travel, to create, to care for a loved one without financial pressure. This mindset is your shield. Because life is messy. Markets will crash. You might lose your job. Emergencies will strike. But when your thinking is rooted in simplicity and long-term independence, you don't panic. You don't make emotional decisions. You are not building a house of cards. You are building a fortress, brick by brick. So here is your first mission. Define your freedom. In vivid detail, what does a perfect Tuesday look like when you no longer have to trade your time for money? Who are you with? What are you creating? Write it down. Make it real. Because once that vision is burned into your mind, every financial choice becomes a simple question. Does this move me closer to my freedom, or does it chain me further to my job? The journey begins here, not with a spreadsheet, but with a decision. The decision to think differently. That is the wealth mindset. And once it clicks, the path becomes simple. Part 2. Debt, the assassin of dreams. There's an invisible force working to keep you financially enslaved. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It tells you, you deserve it. You can pay for it later. Just this once. This assassin of dreams has a name. Debt. In The Simple Path to Wealth, J.L. Collins doesn't mince words. He calls debt what it is, a financial cancer. And if you want to build a life of freedom, your first and most urgent priority is to eradicate it. Why is debt so destructive? Because it's a mathematical monster that works in reverse. While your investments are designed to compound for you, the interest on your debt is compounding against you, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't just steal your money. It steals your energy, your peace of mind, and your future. You cannot build a skyscraper if the foundation is quicksand. You cannot invest your way to freedom if you are bleeding out from high-interest payments. And here's the sinister trick. Debt is designed to feel normal. Society calls it leverage or good debt or a financial tool. But high-interest consumer debt, credit cards, personal loans, car payments, is none of those things. It is a cage. It doesn't matter if you make $50,000 or $500,000 a year. If your lifestyle inflates with every raise, you remain trapped. This is the phenomenon of lifestyle creep, the golden handcuffs that keep high earners living paycheck to paycheck. They get a raise and immediately upgrade the car, the house, the vacations, all financed with debt. They look prosperous, but they are one missed paycheck away from disaster. Their wealth is an illusion. Imagine two people, each earning $150,000 a year. Person A lives on $90,000, invests the other $60,000, and has zero consumer debt. Person B finances 2 luxury cars, carries a $20,000 credit card balance, and spends every bonus. In 10 years, Person A is a quiet millionaire with the freedom to quit their job. Person B has a garage full of depreciating assets and a mountain of stress. Debt doesn't care about your salary. It only feasts on what you owe. Paying 22% interest on a credit card is a guaranteed loss that no investment on earth can reliably outperform. That's why Collins's advice isn't to manage your debt, it's to declare war on it. So, how do you win this war? Your top financial priority, before you even think about serious investing, is to annihilate your high-interest debt. Every dollar you use to pay down a 22% interest credit card is a guaranteed, tax-free, risk-free 22% return on your money. You cannot find a better deal anywhere. The most efficient strategy for this assault is the avalanche method. It's simple and ruthless. List all your debts, from the highest interest rate to the lowest. Pay the absolute minimum on every debt except the one at the top of the list. Throw every single spare dollar you can find at that highest interest debt. Scrimp, sell things, get a side hustle. Unleash hell on that single target. Once it's gone, take all the money you were paying towards it, the minimum plus the extra, and roll it on to the next debt on the list. You create a debt snowball of payments that grows larger and larger, wiping out your debts with accelerating force. It's the most mathematically sound way to save the most money on interest and get free the fastest. The cost of staying in debt is not just the interest you pay, it's the future you sacrifice. That $600 a month going to car payments and credit card interest could become over $1 million if invested in an index fund over 30 years. Your debt is literally costing you a fortune. If you are currently in debt, do not despair. Take action. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to become debt-free. Face the enemy. Write down every single debt you have. The total balance, the interest rate, the minimum payment. No more hiding. This is your battle map. Calculate your freedom date. Create a plan. How quickly could you be free if you went all in? Circle that date on your calendar. Make it your obsession. Get intense. This is a financial emergency. Cut spending to the bone. Make it a game. Every dollar you don't spend is a bullet in the war against debt. Once you are free, the world changes. Your entire paycheck is suddenly yours again. You can breathe. You can build. That's when the real journey begins. Part 3. The Unbreakable Law. Spend less than you earn. If the entire philosophy of wealth could be distilled into a single unbreakable law, it would be this: spend less than you earn. It sounds insultingly simple, almost childish, yet it is the single most powerful and most violated principle in personal finance. It is the engine of the entire simple path. Without it, everything else is meaningless. You can be the world's greatest investor, but if you have no money left over at the end of the month, you cannot invest. You will forever be running in place. J.L. Collins reveals that the single greatest determinant of how quickly you achieve financial independence is not your salary, not the stock market's performance, but your savings rate. That is, the percentage of your income you don't spend. Think of your income as a river. For most people, that river flows in and flows right back out, paying for their lifestyle. Their savings rate is 0%. They are financially stagnant. But if you can build a dam and divert 10%, 20%, or even 50% of that river into a reservoir, you have the resource to build an empire. That reservoir is your capital. Your savings rate is the lever that controls your destiny. This law is profoundly empowering because it is almost entirely within your control. You may not be able to get a 50% raise tomorrow, but you can increase your savings rate today. Even on a modest income, a high savings rate can make you wealthier than a high-earning doctor who spends everything they make. This is the secret of the millionaire next door. They are not the people you see on Instagram. They don't drive Ferraris. They are the landscapers, teachers, and engineers who quietly lived below their means for decades. Their wealth isn't displayed in their driveway. It's compounding silently in their brokerage accounts. They chose discipline over desire. Society has mislabeled this discipline. It calls it frugality and frames it as deprivation, as sacrifice. Collins reframes it as intentionality. It's not about giving things up. It's about funding your freedom. It's about consciously directing your money toward what truly brings you lasting value, and mercilessly cutting out the rest. Is a $6 daily latte worth more than an extra hour of freedom in your future? Is a brand new car worth 3 more years of working at a job you dislike? Frugality is not about being cheap. It's about being a ruthless financial strategist, where your ultimate goal is to buy back your own life. So, how do you master this law? Step 1. Awareness. You must become the detective of your own finances. Track every single dollar you spend for 1 month. Use an app, a spreadsheet, or a notebook. No judgment, just data. The results will shock you. You will discover the 1,000 tiny leaks that are sinking your financial ship. The forgotten subscriptions, the impulse buys, the mindless convenience spending. Step 2. Cut with precision. Look at your spending report. What could you eliminate without any real pain? Start with a 10% reduction. Cancel subscriptions you don't use. Challenge yourself to cook at home 1 more night a week. Swap a paid hobby for a free one. Plug the leaks. Step 3. Widen the gap. The space between what you earn and what you spend is your power gap. Your mission is to make this gap as wide as humanly possible. You do this from two directions, by decreasing your spending and increasing your income. Negotiate a raise, start a side business, sell your unused junk. Every extra dollar earned that isn't spent goes directly into your freedom fund.
The impact of your savings rate on your timeline to freedom is staggering. If you save 10% of your income, you'll need to work for over 50 years to retire. But if you can save 50% of your income, you can reach financial independence in as little as 15 years.
The math doesn't lie. A higher savings rate doesn't just mean you accumulate money faster. It also means you are learning to live on less, which lowers the amount of money you need to be free. It's a beautiful two-pronged attack. The ability to spend less than you earn is a superpower. It makes you immune to financial stress. It allows you to build wealth in any economy. It's the quiet discipline that produces a life of loud freedom. It is completely within your control, starting right now.
Part 4. FU Money, your declaration of independence. There's a raw, unapologetic concept at the core of this philosophy that is so powerful, it can change your entire posture in the world. J.L. Collins calls it FU Money.
It's not polite, but its bluntness is what makes it unforgettable. FU Money is not about being rich. It's about being unbreakable. It is the financial fortress that gives you the power to walk away from a job that is soul-crushing, from a boss who is abusive, from any situation that compromises your integrity or well-being. It is the ultimate source of personal power in a world where most people are financial hostages.
What is it exactly?
FU Money is a cache of savings, easily accessible, that can cover your living expenses for a significant period, say 1 to 2 years. It's the buffer between you and desperation. It's the fund that allows you to make decisions from a place of strength, not fear. Imagine your tyrannical boss gives you an unreasonable, unethical task. The person without FU Money swallows their pride, says yes sir, and dies a little inside. They are trapped. The person with a year of expenses saved in the bank can look their boss in the eye, smile, and say, "No. I won't be doing that. In fact, I think I'm done here." That is the power of FU Money. It's not about being reckless. It's about having the option to choose your dignity over a paycheck. It's your escape hatch. It's your silent negotiation partner. And the best part? You don't need to be a millionaire to build it. This is your first major financial mission. Before you worry about your ultimate retirement number, you build your FU Money fund. Here's how to do it. First, know your number. Calculate your bare-bones monthly survival expenses. Not your comfortable lifestyle spending, but the absolute minimum you need for housing, food, utilities, and transportation. Now, multiply that number by 12, 18, or 24. That is your FU Money target. For many, this is a tangible number like $40,000 or $60,000. It's achievable. Second, give it a name and a home. Open a separate high-yield savings account. Label it Freedom Fund or Walk Away Account or, yes, FU Money. This separates it from your daily finances and gives it a sacred purpose. Third, feed it relentlessly. Automate contributions from every paycheck. Treat it like your most important bill, because you are paying for your future freedom in installments. Fourth, protect it. This money is not for a vacation. It's not for a down payment on a car. It is only to be touched in a life-altering emergency or a moment of truth when you need to reclaim your power. The beautiful irony is that once you have a fully funded FU Money account, your life changes so dramatically, you may never need to use it. You walk differently, you talk differently. In salary negotiations, you are bolder. In toxic environments, you are calmer. People can sense that you are not desperate, and that confidence becomes a magnet for better opportunities. It's not just about jobs. FU Money can be the key to escaping bad relationships or taking a creative sabbatical to start a business. It's a tool for personal empowerment on every level. So ask yourself, how much money would you need in the bank to say no without your voice shaking? To walk away from a bad situation without looking back? That's your number. Make it your mission. Build it with every dollar you save. Because nothing will feel as liberating as the quiet, unshakable confidence of knowing that you are not trapped. You are free.
Part 5. The stock market, your silent wealth-building partner. Let's be honest, the word stock market probably conjure images of chaos. Red arrows plummeting on a screen, slick traders shouting into phones, a high-stakes casino where your life savings can vanish overnight. This fear, this misunderstanding, is the single biggest barrier keeping most people from ever building serious wealth. J.L. Collins shatters this myth with one powerful truth. The stock market is not your enemy. It is the most powerful wealth generation machine ever created. And your job is not to outsmart it, but to simply partner with it. The premise is blunt. Over any significant period, the stock market as a whole has always gone up. It is a graph of human progress. Yes, it is a volatile, terrifying ride in the short term. It dips, it dives, it crashes spectacularly. But it always recovers and climbs to new heights. Historically, the U.S. stock market has delivered an average annual return of around 10% before inflation. At that rate, your money doubles roughly every 7 years. No savings account, no bond, no piece of real estate can reliably offer that kind of growth. To ignore the stock market is to willingly choose the slow lane to wealth. So why do so many people fail? They try to play the wrong game. They think investing is about picking the next Apple or Tesla. They try to time the market, selling before a crash and buying back at the bottom. This is a fool's errand. It's gambling, not investing. The simple, winning strategy is to stop trying to find the winning needle in the haystack and instead, just buy the entire haystack. You do this by investing in a low-cost, broad-based index fund. Specifically, Collins champions Vanguard's Total Stock Market Index Fund, known by its ticker symbol VTSAX. Think of VTSX as a single key that unlocks the door to the entire U.S. economy. By buying one share of this fund, you instantly own a tiny piece of thousands of companies, from giants like Google and Microsoft to the small, innovative companies you've never heard of. You are diversified across every industry. If the American economy grows, your wealth grows with it. You are no longer betting on a single horse. You are betting on the whole race. Let's look at the staggering power of this simple approach. If you had invested $10,000 into VTSAX 30 years ago and never touched it, you would have over $200,000 today. If you had invested just $500 every single month over that same period, you would be a millionaire. This isn't magic. It's the miracle of compounding, fueled by the engine of the stock market. But there is one crucial condition. You must stay in the game. You cannot panic and sell when the headlines are screaming recession. You must have the discipline to keep investing, month after month, year after year, whether the market is soaring or plummeting. As Collins repeats like a mantra, the market always goes up, eventually. This simple, almost boring strategy is the one he taught his own daughter. Not day trading, not complex options, just one simple instruction. Buy VTSAX, keep costs microscopic, and let time do the heavy lifting. Investing isn't a game of intellect. It's a game of temperament. The market rewards patience, not brilliance. Every dollar you invest is like a tiny employee you are sending out into the world to work for you. Over time, these employees make more money, and that money becomes new employees. Your job is to simply keep hiring more employees by investing more money and let your army grow. So here is the challenge. Are you an investor or are you a spectator? Is your money working for you or is it sleeping in a bank account, being eaten alive by inflation? If you haven't started, the time is now. You don't need a fortune. You can start with $100. The key is to build the habit. Open a brokerage account with a low-cost provider like Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. Set up automatic monthly contributions into a total stock market index fund. Then, and this is the most important part, ignore the noise. Trust the process. The stock market is not something to be feared. It is a powerful force to be harnessed.
It is your silent partner on the path to freedom.
Part 6. The elegance of simplicity. Why index funds win. In the world of investing, you stand at a fork in the road. One path is a noisy, crowded bazaar. Experts are shouting, gurus are promising secret formulas, and slick salespeople are pushing complex, expensive products. It's confusing, intimidating, and designed to make you feel like you need a guide. The other path is quiet, simple, almost deserted. But here's the secret. The quiet path is the one that leads to the treasure. This path is called index fund investing. The central thesis of the simple path to wealth is that in investing, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And the most elegant tool for this simple approach is the total stock market index fund, like VTSAX. So, what is an index fund? Imagine a basket that holds a tiny piece of every publicly traded company in the country. Instead of hiring an expensive manager to try and pick which stocks will be winners, the index fund simply buys and holds everything. Its goal is not to beat the market. Its goal is to be the market. This sounds average, but it's actually a recipe for extraordinary results. Why? For one simple, devastating reason. Fees. The noisy, complex path is lined with gatekeepers, active fund managers, who charge exorbitant fees for their supposed expertise. They charge you 1%, 2%, or even more of your money every single year, promising to beat the market. But the dirty secret of Wall Street, confirmed by decades of data, is that over 90% of them fail to do so over any long period. They fail because of their high fees, the taxes they generate by trading frequently, and the simple fact that consistently outsmarting the entire market is nearly impossible. In contrast, a fund like VTSAX has an expense ratio of around 0.04%. That's not 1%, it's 1/25th of that. For every $10,000 you have invested, the active manager is taking $100 or more per year. Vanguard is taking $4. This might seem like a small difference, but over decades, it is a catastrophic leak in your financial ship. A 1% fee can devour nearly a third of your potential earnings over your lifetime due to lost compounding. It's the difference between retiring comfortably and working an extra 10 years. High fees are the quiet thief of your future. The power of index funds lies in 3 key areas. Radical diversification. With one purchase, you are protected from the failure of any single company. You own the winners and the losers. And historically, the winners have always pulled the average up. Microscopic costs. By eliminating the high-salaried manager, these funds pass the savings directly to you, allowing more of your money to stay invested and work for you. Tax efficiency. Because index funds don't trade frequently, they don't generate the capital gains taxes that can plague actively managed funds. This strategy is so powerful that even Warren Buffett, arguably the greatest stock picker in history, has instructed that 90% of his wife's inheritance be put into a simple S&P 500 index fund. He knows that for most people, trying to beat the market is a losing game. A common question arises. Is one fund really enough? Shouldn't I be more diversified? But a total stock market index fund is, by definition, the ultimate diversification. It holds companies of all sizes, across all sectors: tech, healthcare, energy, consumer goods. You are already diversified across the entire engine of the economy. Your mission is not to be a brilliant market analyst. Your mission is to be a disciplined, consistent investor. Your challenge today is to investigate your own investments. Do you know what fees you are paying? Log into your 401k or IRA. Find the expense ratio for every fund you own. If you see numbers like 0.8%, 1.2%, or higher, you have found the enemy. You are paying a massive premium for underperformance. The solution is simple. Take control. If possible, move your money to low-cost index funds. If you're starting new, open an account at Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab, and build your portfolio on a foundation of total market index funds. Index funds are not sexy. They won't give you a thrilling story to tell at a cocktail party, but they are the most reliable,
proven, and effective tool for building wealth the world has ever known. They remove the stress, the guesswork, and the fees that sabotage most investors. They allow you to put your financial growth on autopilot and get on with the business of living your life. The magic isn't in finding a secret. The magic is in embracing the simple, powerful truth. Part 7. The Advisor Dilemma. Whose side are they on? Let's talk about the experts. When it comes to your money, there's an entire industry of people who call themselves financial advisors. The image they project is one of a wise, trusted guide, a partner who will help you navigate the complexities of finance and secure your future. But J.L. Collins pulls back the curtain on a deeply uncomfortable truth. Most financial advisors are not on your side. Many are not advisors at all. They are highly trained salespeople, compensated not for the quality of their advice, but for their ability to sell you high-fee financial products. To understand this, you need to know one critical word: fiduciary. A fiduciary is a professional who is legally and ethically bound to act in your best interest, and only your best interest. It seems obvious that anyone managing your life savings should have this obligation, right? But here's the shocking reality. Most financial advisors are not fiduciaries. They operate under a much weaker suitability standard. This means the products they sell you only need to be suitable for your needs, not necessarily the best or cheapest option. This loophole is big enough to drive a truck through, and it's where your wealth gets siphoned off. Here's how it works in practice. An advisor has two investment options for you. Option A is a low-cost index fund like VTSAX with a 0.04% fee. Option B is an actively managed mutual fund with a 1.5% fee that also pays the advisor a handsome commission. Even if the advisor knows the index fund is statistically the better long-term choice, the suitability standard allows them to recommend the expensive fund because it's still suitable. They get a big payday, and you get stuck with a product that will silently drain tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars from your net worth over your lifetime. It's legal, it's common, and it's a betrayal of your trust. These fees are the termites in the woodwork of your financial house. You don't see them, but they are constantly eating away at your foundation. Remember the math. A 1% fee doesn't just cost you 1% of your money. It costs you all the future growth that money would have generated. Over 30 years, it's a six-figure tax on your retirement. Collins offers a liberating alternative. You are perfectly capable of managing your own money. In fact, armed with the simple principles of this book, you can achieve better results than 90% of the people who pay for professional advice. All you need is a simple system and the discipline to stick with it. A portfolio of low-cost index funds is not just a good enough solution. It is the optimal solution for the vast majority of investors. Now, this doesn't mean all advisors are bad. True fiduciaries exist, but they are the exception, and you must know how to identify them. Ask the magic question directly. Are you a fiduciary, legally required to act in my best interest 100% of the time? If they hesitate, give a complicated answer, or say anything other than a clear, enthusiastic yes, you walk away. Demand to know how they are paid. Look for fee-only advisors. They charge a flat fee or an hourly rate for their time, like a lawyer or an accountant. Their advice is the product. Avoid advisors who are fee-based or work on commission. Their product is whatever they are trying to sell you. Trust your education. Once you understand the core principles, spend less than you earn, avoid debt, invest in low-cost index funds, and stay the course, you'll realize you don't need someone to hold your hand. You know the way. The financial industry profits from complexity and your insecurity. It creates a fog of jargon and fear to convince you that you are not smart enough to go it alone. But wealth isn't complicated. It's about simple habits, patiently applied over time. Your challenge today is to become the CEO of your own money. Look at your investments. Who is benefiting more from them? You or the person who sold them to you? Do you know what fees you are paying? Don't blindly outsource your future to someone who will never care about it as much as you do. Take the wheel. The simple path empowers you to be your own guide.
And that is the surest way to guarantee your money is always working for one person and one person only. You. Part 8. The unbeatable formula for building wealth. If we were to strip away all the noise and distill the process of building wealth into its purest form, we are left with a simple 3-step formula. This is the engine of wealth creation. It is timeless, it is proven, and it is unbreakable. Save, invest. Wait, that's it. That's the entire game. Master these 3 steps, and financial freedom is not just possible, it's inevitable. Let's break down the engine. Part 1. Save. This is the fuel. You cannot build a fire without wood. You cannot build wealth without capital. As we've covered, your savings rate is the throttle on your journey to financial independence. The more you save, the faster you get there. This requires living intentionally, below your means, and creating a gap between your income and your expenses. This gap is the raw material of your future wealth. Part 2. Invest. This is the spark that ignites the fuel. Money sitting in a savings account is dead money. It's losing purchasing power to inflation every single day. To grow, your money must be put to work. As we've established, the simplest and most effective way to do this is to invest your savings into broad-based, low-cost index funds like VTSAX. This isn't about outsmarting the market. It's about harnessing its power. Part 3. Wait. This is the secret ingredient. This is the multiplier. This is where the magic happens. Patience is what activates the most powerful force in the universe. Compound interest. Albert Einstein called it the 8th wonder of the world. Compounding is the process of your investment returns themselves generating their own returns. It's a snowball effect. At first, the growth is slow, almost unnoticeable. But over decades, the snowball grows exponentially, becoming an unstoppable avalanche of wealth. Let's see this formula in action. A 25-year-old invests $500 per month into an index fund, averaging a 10% annual return. After 10 years, they have about $100,000. Not bad. After 20 years, it's $360,000. The growth is accelerating, but after 30 years, it's over $1 million. And after 40 years, it's nearly $2.5 million. Notice how the last 10 years generated more wealth than the first 30 combined. That is the explosive power of compounding. Your job is to feed the system consistently and then get out of the way and let time do its work. The key to making this formula work is consistency and automation. The biggest enemy of this plan is human emotion. Fear and greed cause investors to make terrible decisions, selling at the bottom and buying at the top. You defeat this enemy by putting your plan on autopilot. Automate your savings. Set up an automatic transfer from your paycheck directly to your investment account. Pay yourself first. Automate your investments. Set up your brokerage account to automatically buy shares on a regular schedule. This is called dollar cost averaging, and it ensures you keep investing regardless of market conditions. When you automate, you remove the weakest link, you. You don't have to decide when to invest. Your plan runs in the background, executing flawlessly month after month, year after year. The investors who achieve the best results are often the ones who forget they even have an investment account. They just buy and hold. This path may sound too slow for a world obsessed with instant gratification, but fast wealth is often fragile wealth. The lottery winner who is broke in 5 years never learned discipline. True, lasting wealth is not built like a bonfire. It is forged like a sword, through heat, pressure, and time. This 3-step formula is your blueprint. It is accessible to anyone, at any income level. It is the simple, proven path. Commit to it, automate it, and trust it. The laws of mathematics are on your side. Part 9. Market crashes. A fire sale for the wise. At some point on your journey, the sky will feel like it's falling. The stock market will plunge 20%, 30%, maybe even 50%. The news will be a torrent of panic. Headlines will scream crisis and collapse. Your friends, your family, your coworkers,
Everyone will be talking about getting their money out before it's all gone.
In this moment of maximum fear, you will face the single greatest test of your investing career. And how you react will determine whether you become wealthy or join the masses who lose. Here's the mindset shift that will make you rich. A market crash is not a disaster. It is a gift. It is a once-in-a-decade opportunity to buy the world's greatest assets at a massive discount. The brutal truth is that people don't lose money because stocks go down. They lose money because they panic and sell when stocks are down, locking in their losses permanently. They react with emotion instead of logic. Collins drills this point home. The stock market is a volatile beast, but the long-term trend is relentlessly upward. The only people who get thrown from the beast are the ones who let go. Look at history. Every single market crash in modern history, the Great Depression, Black Monday in 1987, the dot-com bust, the 2008 financial crisis, the COVID flash crash, was followed by an eventual recovery and a surge to new all-time highs. Every single time. The investor who simply held on and did nothing not only recovered their money, but became far wealthier. The long-term investor always wins, provided they have the intestinal fortitude to stay the course. But Collins goes a step further. He doesn't just tell you to hold on during a crash. He tells you to celebrate it and buy more. Why? Because if you are in your wealth-building years, a crash is a fire sale. It's like walking into your favorite store to find everything is 50% off. You wouldn't run out screaming, you would buy as much as you can afford. The same logic applies to your investments. A crash allows you to accumulate more shares of your index fund for the same amount of money. And the more shares you own, the wealthier you will be when the inevitable recovery happens. This is easy to understand intellectually, but hard to practice emotionally. When you see your life savings cut by 40%, it feels terrifying. This is why you must prepare your mind now. Treat it like a fire drill. Decide today, while you are calm and rational, how you will behave in the next crash. Warren Buffett famously said to be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Market crashes are the moments of maximum fear. That is your cue to be greedy, to continue your automated investing, and, if you have extra cash, to invest even more. The illusion that you can time the market, sell before the crash, and jump back in at the bottom, is the siren song that has shipwrecked countless investors. To do it successfully, you have to be right twice: when to get out and when to get back in. Almost no one can do this consistently. The buy and hold investor only has to be right once. That over the long term, human ingenuity and economic growth will continue. That is a much safer bet. So here's your challenge. Write down your market crash protocol now. It might say, when the market drops 20% or more, I will not sell a single share. I will continue my automated monthly investments without fail. I will avoid looking at my portfolio balance and turn off the financial news. I will view this as an opportunity and invest any extra cash I have available. Read this protocol during the next storm. Let it be your anchor. Fortune doesn't favor the brilliant. It favors the disciplined. See crashes not as a threat to your wealth, but as the very event that will accelerate it. Part 10. The destination, financial independence. So, what is the point of all this? The saving, the investing, the discipline. It's all leading to one beautiful, life-altering destination: financial independence. Financial independence, or FI, is the ultimate goal. It's the moment your investments generate enough passive income to cover your entire lifestyle forever. It's the point where working becomes a choice, not a requirement. Let that sink in. When you achieve FI, you have bought back your life. You are no longer trading your time for money. You have broken the link. You can wake up on a Monday morning and do whatever you want. You can pursue a passion project, start a business, travel the world, dedicate your life to a cause, or simply spend more time with the people you love. You own your time, which means you own your life. This isn't a pipe dream reserved for the ultra-rich. Thanks to the simple path, it's a tangible, mathematical goal. And the key to knowing when you've arrived is a concept called the 4% rule. Born from a famous study, the 4% rule provides a simple guideline for safe withdrawals in retirement. It states that if you withdraw 4% of your investment portfolio in your first year of retirement,
and then adjust that amount for inflation each following year, there is a very high probability your money will last for 30 years or more, often growing larger than when you started. This rule gives us a powerful tool to calculate our FI number. To find out how much money you need to be financially independent, simply take your annual expenses and multiply them by 25, because 100% divided by 4% equals 25. So if you live on $40,000 per year, your FI number is 40,000 times 25 equals $1 million. If you can live happily on $60,000 per year, your FI number is 60,000 times 25 equals $1.5 million. This simple equation reveals the two levers you can pull to reach FI faster. Increase your investments by saving and earning more. Decrease your annual expenses by living more intentionally. This is why frugality is a superpower. Every dollar you cut from your annual spending doesn't just save you $1 today, it reduces your FI target by $25. But what about the inevitable fears? What if the market crashes right after I retire? What if inflation goes crazy? The 4% rule has been stress tested against the worst financial periods in history and has held up remarkably well. Furthermore, the key is flexibility. In a bad market year, you might choose to spend a little less. You are no longer bound by rigid rules. You are empowered with options. Reaching FI doesn't mean you have to stop working. The retire early part of the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early, is optional. What matters is the FI. Once you have it, you can renegotiate your relationship with work on your own terms. You can work part-time, do consulting, or start a creative endeavor, all with the quiet confidence of knowing you don't need the paycheck. So, how do you get there? Calculate your FI number, know your target, track your spending relentlessly. You cannot manage what you do not measure. Widen the gap. Maximize your savings rate. Invest consistently in low-cost index funds. Stay the course. Through booms and busts, trust the plan. Your challenge today is to calculate your FI number. Write it down. This is no longer a vague dream of being rich. This is a concrete target. Now, work backward. What one change could you make this month to get 1% closer to that goal? This is your life's great adventure. Every dollar has a choice. It can buy you more stuff, or it can buy you more freedom. Choose freedom. Part 11. The Simple Path for Life. Conclusion. In the end, the simple path to wealth is more than a financial strategy. It's a philosophy for living. It's a declaration that the best things in life aren't things, and that true wealth is measured not in dollars, but in freedom, choice, and peace of mind. The journey we've walked through is not easy, but it is simple. It's a path that trades the stressful complexity of Wall Street for the elegant power of discipline. Let's bring it all home. You now understand that your mindset is the foundation. Money is a tool, and its highest purpose is to build a life of freedom. You know that debt is a cage, and you must become a warrior to escape it. You have mastered the unbreakable law. Spend less than you earn, recognizing your savings rate as the engine of your success. You see the stock market not as a casino, but as your greatest ally, and the low-cost index fund as the simple, powerful vehicle to harness its growth. You've built your fortress of FU money, giving you the power to live life on your own terms. You have learned to trust yourself more than commissioned salespeople, to embrace the formula of save, invest, and wait, and to see market crashes as the opportunities they are. And finally, you have a clear destination: financial independence. A tangible goal defined by the 4% rule. This simple path doesn't end when you hit your number. It becomes your way of life. You stay grounded. You stick to the principles that brought you freedom because you understand that true wealth isn't about opulence. It's about having options. This path works. It works for teachers and tech workers, for artists and engineers. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much of your life you are willing to trade for it. So the final challenge is this. Are you ready to commit? Are you ready to choose the quiet path of discipline over the loud distraction of consumerism? Are you ready to play the long game in a world addicted to short-term hits? 10 years from now, you will arrive. The only question is where. You can either be 10 years older, or you can be 10 years closer to freedom. Choose freedom. Choose the simple path. If this guide has unlocked something for you, the journey doesn't stop here. This is your beginning. The first step is the hardest, but you are no longer walking alone. Like this video if you found value, subscribe for more no-nonsense guides to building a life you control, and share this with one person who needs to hear this message. And now, a question for you in the comments. What is the first step you will take on your simple path, starting today? Declare it, commit to it, and then go do it. Your future self will thank you.